All right, so this one we're going to show you how to add a crack into a wall or any type of surface. This process probably even used if you wanted to do an edit where you added a crack inside of somebody's face or something like that. First thing we need to do is add a new layer, which is right down here in the bottom right corner. This is called your layers palette. Looks like a page with a corner flipped up. The shortcut for that is Shift Control N if you do like the shortcuts. Next thing we want to do is click on our brush tool and hold it down, and we want to go to the pencil tool. And we're going to want white on top, so we can hit X. If you do not have black and white in this in your color palette, hit D, and that'll default it to be back to black and white, and then hit X with white on top. We want our size to be all the way at 1. Again, this is another small kind of image. This process would work on any size photograph, but the process would still be the same. So we're going to use the right bracket and left bracket, and those are your shortcuts to make your brush size bigger or smaller. But you also want to keep your brush in the same area when you were making that adjustment. They're right above the enter button on your keyboard. But what you're going to do is you're going to treat this as a 5-step process of drawing the line. So you're going to draw a little bit at 1, then you're going to hit right bracket, and then you're going to draw a little bit more at 2, and then hit right bracket again, draw a little bit more at 3, and then we're going to go back down to 2 by hitting left bracket, and then last step back down to 1. And then from there, what you're going to do is click on your layer mask right here. If you can see where my cursor is at, we're going to add a layer mask, and we're going to change this pencil back to the brush, and we're going to have this size. We're going to go back to 25, and we're going to change. So the size is going to be 25. The hardness we will keep at 0. And then with black on top, and we want to change our opacity right up here to 20. And what this is, every time I click, it's going to take 20% off. So it's a way to fade it out. So nothing looks like it's happening yet, but the more I keep clicking, the more this disappears. And all you want to do is fade out your edges. So on each side. And then we're going to click back on this thumbnail of the layer, and we're going to change that blending mode to overlay. And we're going to change the opacity of that layer to 75. Is right here. From here, we're going to make a copy of this layer, and it's already highlighted. We can see right there it's active because it's got that little light grayish highlight over it, and we're going to hit Control J. What that does is the shortcut to make a copy of that layer. And then from here, we're going to hit Control I, which will invert that layer. And we're going to change this overlay, this blending mode from overlay to color burn. And we're going to change the opacity back to 100 and the fill to 85. And then we want to click on our move tool, which is right over here, top left, right from where, if you can see where my cursor is at. And we're going to hit the arrows on your keyboard. We're going to hit the right arrow once and the up arrow once. And what that does is it adds a nice little highlight and shadow line, thus making the crack look more realistic. And that is the process. From there, you would save it as JPEG and turn it in.